Talley and Twine offer detail and luxury with styles for both men and women.
I love them. Clean, go good with suits, like you say. Two young brothers, HBCU grads.
It's called Talley and Twine. It's a black-owned watch company, and I'd like to support all black everything.
It's black-owned.
Yep, I like that.
Yeah,
you know what it is? Classy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's classy. Middle classy, man. I would wear this.
Also, shout out to Talley and Twine for this amazing watch.
Yeah, I'm official. It's a worldly chronograph, baby. Talley and Twine.
This is the one my wife got me. Love this watch. One of my favorite pieces. I always been in the watch. Always been collecting watches, man. And I really like this.
The Virginia-based company, founded in 2014, has been featured in Men's Health, The Robb Report, Black Enterprise, Huffington Post, New York Magazine, Cosmopolitan, and more.
The actual band is interchangeable. This is a fire brand, dope watch, man.
You gonna bring St. King?
So that's how we start this thing, man.
Yeah, let's bring it.
Let's do this thing, man. Season 2, goddamn.
Let's go.
Season 2, episode 26. Episode 26, man. Here we is, Figuring Shit Out podcast, man. Y'all know what time it is. Your boy King Arthur. Check out the websites. I ain't gonna say them off, but cut the app, download it for sure. 2020 Faces was last season, and we'll see y'all in the springtime with our reviews, right? So what you got going on over, Frank?
Still working on the mobile app. You know what I'm saying? We haven't really talked about it that much. Showboat. Actually, right. I just named it. I dropped the name. That's the first time I said it.
You got a name for it?
Yeah, it's called Showboat.
Okay.
I got the .com. Working on the app. We ran into some issues, but, we're going to work it through. BunnyFlocks.com, SilverSyndicate.org, LoserPerspective.com. Same old. Nothing's really changed. We got...
That's right.
Mr. Randy Williams, what's going on? Owner, CEO of Talley and Twine with us today.
That's right.
What's going on?
Happy to be here, man.
Word.
Be here, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Do you have a moment in your career, in your entrepreneurship, where you just, or it was like a figuring shit out moment where you like, okay, I know what my purpose is. I know what I want to do in life. Do you have a moment that you can speak about, share with the people?
I do. One actually does come to mind. First of all, overall, I think that's what we do as entrepreneurs is figure shit out.
Right.
That's why we exist.
Right.
We are the problem solvers. And I heard this quote that says, only a fool is surprised by the inevitable.
Ooh.
So people jump into businesses, they jump into new spaces, and they and don't be shocked when these problems come your way. Just use that tool that you have to be able to solve that problem. And that's why we get compensated as a result of the problems that we solve. And for me, my figuring it out moment was probably, I think I was in like 5th or 6th grade. And y'all remember Slam magazine?
I think so, yeah.
Basketball magazine.
Yeah.
AI got a iconic Slam magazine cover, but this was my favorite magazine growing up. I wanted to play in the NBA and stuff. So the first thing I sold, my first transaction was tearing a page out of the Slam magazine, putting it into a Ziploc bag, and going to the basketball court and selling it for $0.25.
What?
And I fell in love with the transaction at that point. That was my eureka moment when I was like, oh, I want to keep doing this. I can't explain that rush, that thrill I got. I'm like, nobody else thought of doing this,
right?
But I did.
How'd you sell it?
That
you just went to the court and you just asked anybody?
Hand to hand. Yeah. I was like, hey, look, I got these posters.
Oh, so you named it a poster.
And sold it, man. Some guy had to have it right there at that moment. So it's been on ever since.
How much was the magazine?
They were cheap back then.
You in the 5th grade, nobody had no money, so I had to save up to get this thing. It was like $4.99 or something. So nobody had it. We used to all go to the store. Yeah, y'all got Rite Aid around here. We used to all go to the store and read them in the aisle, put them back, and walk out, right? You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, I could buy one of these. So I saved up and bought one of them.
I remember they had the sign up there, like, if you're reading, what is it? They used to have signs at the thing. Like, don't stand here and read the magazine, buy it, and get out.
Yeah, they wouldn't let you order. They would run us out of the store.
Yeah.
So that was your taste of entrepreneurship. Taking a poster out of a Slam magazine, going to the court, because that's what Hoover's at. That's where everybody playing ball at. And I got this poster for $0.25. Why $0.25? How you get to a quarter?
It felt like a lot of money at the time. I now realize that's probably how much a bag of chips costs.
Quarter waters. Yeah, back then, yeah.
I was trying to get some snack money.
You could have scribbled
was
his
that-
signature and sold it for $10. But like, yo, he signed this.
You next level. That's next level.
$25.
Then I had to learn how to fight a little better than that.
Right.
They find out his face.
Oh yeah, nah, for real. That would have been bad.
I think that. So, how'd you come up with out of all that? How'd you come up with Talley and Twine? Right, what made you start making watches and luxury watches at that? Right, like because when you think of watches, you think of the typical ones, right? Rolex, maybe the Seikos or whatever.
I had a couple
Movados or
Movados back
whatever.
in the day.
But I ain't never heard nobody think about going and make a watch, right? So talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, I think just alluding to the first question is the problem solving aspect. I was collecting watches for myself. I had a nice little collection, probably about 10, 15 watches. And I was starting to see that they all kind of look the same after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get 10 watches, it's hard to find 10 different looking watches. What I realized is that all the names y'all just called, everybody was just copying the biggest player in that space. So they got their version of Rolex, their version of Movado, and there was really no difference in
Design.
the design. So that was the first thing. Second part is I was flipping through a magazine one time, I think it was GQ, and I realized that out of all the watch ads I had seen, I never saw any brown wrists, ever.
Right, facts.
And with those two things, that's when my light bulb went off, because I realized the whole community of people that looked like me that weren't being addressed by the watch market. And there's a whole group of people that looked like me that wanted a watch that was like everything else that's on the market. And so I put those two together, and I felt that was a strong enough foundation to kind of jump into the space from there.
Are you new in town or need a fresh cut on the fly? Let me show you a convenient way to hire a mobile hair care pro now. Simply download the Cuddy app from the App Store. Create a profile and have access to professional mobile barbers and stylists in your area. The Cuddy app allows you to browse for hair care professionals 24/7. View their profile and share your location to find the nearest one. Once you've found the perfect pro with just a click of a button, have a professional meet you in a matter of minutes. This means no more worrying about running late, waiting for the next chair to open, or missing your appointment completely. Reclaim your valuable time and put your mind at ease knowing your hair care pro is on the way. Cuddy app is the only place to hire a hair care pro whenever you are ready, wherever you are. Cuddy app. Join the revolution today.
It's dope, and that's inspirational, and is crazy. And like, I guess we could talk about the come up, how you went from the concept to actually building a watch company. Obviously, we don't want you to spill any secrets you may have, proprietary stuff, but like, what was the first part of designing a watch? Like you design it, and then how do you move from design concept to a real product? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Honestly, it's pretty easy. I won't say it's easy. It's a simple process.
Right. Okay.
A lot of stuff is simple, but it's just not easy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like I know how to get to Arizona on foot. I could get there.
Right.
It ain't gonna be an easy thing. You know what I'm saying?
You can hiking for
I can look at a
10
map
days.
and tell how to get there. The execution is the thing that trips most people up. But for me, I started out with some sketches. Yeah, it's the execution. So I started out with some sketches, and then from there, I hired a graphic designer on Upwork. I forgot what the name of it. I think it was called Elance at the time. And so he took my sketch, brought it to life. Once I had the graphic, then I hired a product designer. And the product designer turned it into like a 3D model with the actual specs, the size of the watch, and the materials that would be used.
Wow.
So this is over the course of several months. So once I had the 3D model, now I can go to the manufacturers and order samples. And so I went to Alibaba, and I found some, maybe like 4 or 5 different suppliers, and I started buying samples from them, testing the quality, at the same time checking their communication level, like how well they spoke English and stuff like that, and their attention to detail. And
so
after a couple of months of doing that, we landed on a supplier.
So to be clear, like you when you, because I'm kind of lost. Like you don't know, you didn't actually study how to make a watch, right? Like the pieces, the gears, put all that stuff together. You found someone that I guess has the mechanical knowledge of that piece, like building the actual watch, like all the gears, the timepiece, and all that. And so you found that person, hired them, and they just took your design and put that in the 3D model, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a manufacturer that focus on only making watches. So just like you got T-shirt manufacturers abroad, you got auto parts manufacturers abroad. That's their specialty, and they are already making. I was able to find out they were already making watches for very reputable brands as well.
Oh, okay.
And in doing that, I knew that they could bring them to life. And not to be too caught up prisoner in the moment, but it's the reason that Kanye went to Nike. That's the reason he went to Adidas, because they already got manufacturing it. You know what I mean? You want to make a home shoe that looks like this, you're gonna go to the guys that are gonna make it the easiest, that already got the technology and the team to execute and pull it off. And to scale production.
Right. And that's important.
Manufacturers do.
And that's important to point out, because some people, most people, like who maybe don't have an entrepreneurial mind or business mind, they think, man, I can't do this. I don't know how to make a watch, and they'll just default to it's knowledge that you have to have, right? You got to study this, do this, but you can reach out to different people, different vendors, and put those pieces together, right? You can find those people and then bring them together.
That's the biggest thing that keeps us from scaling, if you think about it. The whole mentality of I have to figure out how to do it myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we got certain areas in our life where very few people try to cut their own hair. I do. I cut my own, but very few people try to do that. They I'm going to a
professional
person who knows what
Cuddy
they're doing, right?
We download Cuddy app.
Cuddy app, that's right.
But we don't apply it to business. In business, you want to be a one-man band. You want to do everything yourself.
That's me.
You don't want to get any partners.
That's me.
and instead, you should be focusing on who's the best person to do this. I learned a lot from reading books about different entrepreneurs, and I realized, man, the guys that really are Forbes list material, they're not doing this stuff themselves.
Right.
Very rarely are they the sole person that's responsible for making the business turn. They don't have to be the CEO, they hire CEOs.
Right.
When you start talking about making real money, you're talking about replicating yourself so that you don't have to be there in the business.
That's important.
So what I took from that, man, is being solution oriented, right? So you first started off talking about entrepreneurs seeing a solution problem and being able to solve it, but being able to solve it like you did was creating the solution, which is the product, right? And it's like taking the product or the solution and actually manifesting it, right? So building an app for me was kind of the same way. I went out, I got the idea, I went out and figured out how, I got the money, and I built the product. But the whole nother game came to me was, pushing the product, getting the people out there, knowing, getting out there, right? Because making the product was one thing, but running
marketing
the business for the product is a whole nother beast, right? So being solution oriented, right? First to get the product, but that's only half the battle, because once you get it. So tell us about how you got Talley and Twine out there, right? How you got the watch out there? Because I know it was kind of surreal, kind of putting all this money into something that had no real, all you had
awareness,
was what you felt about it,
right? Yeah,
what you knew about it, right? But it had no other life besides what you was about to give it. So how'd you get that going?
Well, actually, man, the marketing and selling of the product, again, like I just told you, that's the part that I'm in love with. So that's the part that got me excited, and to this day, those are the things that I enjoy doing the most in the business. And so it was really cool to try to kind of figure out how to make some noise in the space, but we got all of this technology at our fingertips. Like, I already found a manufacturer. Now I got to get creative and figure out how to get the product in front of people. So the first thing I did was, after I got my samples ready and to the quality that I wanted, and I knew I was ready to mass produce, I launched a Kickstarter campaign. And the reason I did that was twofold. Number one, to get the money for the first shipment, but also I realized that this would create a customer base for me. And at the time, you still were able to grow stuff organically on crowdfunding platforms like that. Like now it's like super flooded. You got to have marketing. You got to have paid ads for your campaign. But back then, you know, all you had to do was really just get on the popular page, you know, which I never did. I thought I was going to get on there, but I never did. But I walked away from that campaign. We raised about $25,000. I walked away from that campaign with like 300 people on my email list. That's already. Good. Yeah. So that gave me a base. And then the second thing I did was utilize social media. Again, Instagram was still pretty organic at that point. So I reached out to all these people who had like 2,000, 2,500 people, but they had the content that I felt like matched the brand, like well-dressed guys. They posted a lot. And this is before I even knew what an influencer was. I reached out to them. I was like, hey, look, I ain't got no money, but when the campaign finishes, I'll give you a free watch if you help me promote it. You know, just promote once a week, tell people about the Kickstarter campaign. And so they did that. And then once they got the watches after the campaign, you know, they continued to post about it and stuff. So I kind of kept using that strategy and kept giving away watches. Like, I think we underestimate the power of free stuff. Yeah. So like, people, they get this stuff, they make it, and then they just hold on to it. And I didn't.
You gotta share it with the world.
Yeah, man. If you don't get this stuff away, like nobody's gonna know you exist, dog. Right. So this is your marketing budget. You know what I'm saying? Not just on the street, but give it away strategically. There's a reason that Balenciaga and all these high-end brands give dresses and clothes to people that are out in the public spotlight, you know, because they know that that's going to drive their business and keep them relevant. And so, but for some reason, small businesses are very reluctant to do that. So that's what I did. I just gave stuff away. And then we doubled down on content. And I figured out how to use Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and I used that to start to convert and build my own list. So that's really the traction.
Facts.
Where we got most of our traction from.
Yeah, man. I've been telling Frank lately, you got to give, man. You got to do some stuff on the strength. Not necessarily for the benefit, not necessarily because it's going to come back, but because you want to see them win. It's going to help. But
awareness
on the small chance that, hey, this may come back. This may build a strong relationship, right? So I always tell my kids, give until you give. And you can't give them more. Find some more to give, dog. Like,
that's true. It does come back, though. Karmatically, it's going to come back, especially if your intention is well. You know what I'm saying?
I believe in that, for sure.
Yeah, so that's what's up. So how did you pick the influencer to reach out to and say, hey, if you promote this watch, I give you a free one? Was there like a criteria? You know?
No, not really. It was just people I was already following, really.
Okay.
I was already following them for their content, so I already knew of them. And I just reached out to them. They didn't know me, but I had been following them. And they posting just for free. You know what I'm saying? At this time, it ain't even no culture of promote my product. You know what I'm saying? They was already just doing this just purely, and I think that's why it was Instagram was a lot more organic at that point, because people were posting out of love,
sharing photos and
what
stuff.
they wanted to do.
Do you think that's still the
like, I'm posting to get big so that I can get endorsement deals? It was like they just wanted to do it.
Do you still think that's the culture nowadays with, you know, all these influencers and followers? Like, people want money now.
Nah, man, it's hard to separate it now, because even if you, let's say you come out, you love cars, you start posting about them. Once you start getting traction, you be like, hey, how can I make some money off this?
Monetize,
you know people making money off of it. You can't unlearn that people make money off of this type of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I think it's gonna forever be like that. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but that's the way it is.
Right.
That's kind of the nature of the beast.
Like utilize people. Seeing people, you're seeing, I get more eyeballs, and I can utilize all these eyeballs, right, to my benefit, instead of sending them somewhere else, right? I can, you know, capitalize off my own audience. I mean, so.
Are you looking for a media agency that covers all the creative tasks that make a business successful? Lucid Perspective produces elegant, high-resolution graphics and logos, high-definition and 4K video, complete with treatment concepts and innovative editing. Lucid Perspective provides photography services such as fashion, advertisements, product or service, and aerial photography. We also help businesses build their brands from the ground up with complete campaigns that will make your business attractive to your target audience. We can bring your brand to the masses with our effective and strategic marketing campaigns to include sales funnels, eye-catching advertisements, breakthrough digital marketing through social media, and other digital avenues. Visit lucidperspective.com today.
Let's talk about your business structure a little bit of Talley and Twine, right? So once you got a little traction, once you started moving some watches, like what are some of the first business moves you made for the company?
So the
how'd
first
you pick
person
them?
I hired,
Who was the first one?
yeah, first person I hired was an ex-coworker. She had, so in 2014, I started the business. By 2016, I got laid off in 2016 February. So that's when I went full time.
Thanks.
Shortly thereafter, like a year or so later, a coworker had a baby, and you know, she was struggling with this whole work-life balance thing, and I knew that I could offer her, like, look, you can make your own schedule. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want to go back to the office because you want to spend time with your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, look, just come work for us part-time. You know what I'm saying? And so the first person I hired was an admin. She handled she was doing admin at my old job, and then she did it for us. So she did customer service. She would answer emails, answer the phone, and then also do the fulfillment. So assemble and, you know, package and ship the watches. So that was the first hire, and that's the first time I like got a bunch of stuff off of my plate so I could focus on the cash generating aspects of the business,
Right, and grow.
like the marketing, like perfecting the product, strategic partnerships and things of that nature.
Okay, that's what's up.
Okay.
What would you say is your best-selling product? One of your watch brands that you are really proud of?
We got quite a few, but I think probably the first like real flagship product that we made that gave us a lot of attention was our Juneteenth watch.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So in 2016 or 17, we launched that, and at the time it was not a national holiday.
Right.
People were not celebrating it. If you were outside of Texas,
Right.
like nobody really knew about it. And so I'm proud of that because we were kind of introducing it. I mean, we were sending out emails explaining what Juneteenth
it was,
in the email, and then showing them the watch. And so it was a important piece, and it helped us understand, like, you know, how integral it is for the culture to have its own leaders, its own brands, its own businesses and companies that kind of speak to the things that matter to your audience.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? We can't let other people determine what's important for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I'm very proud of that product. It's a perennial bestseller, very hard to keep in stock. So.
Did you see that did it blow up after they made a federal holiday? Like was there a lot of attention back up?
It actually blew up George Floyd 2020.
Oh, okay.
That's when it like exploded. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of a sudden everybody was talking about, you know, the culture, you know, and being mistreated, and, you know, police brutality, and you know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Everybody, although I felt like it was kind of short-lived, people were really committed to buying black for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right.
And we always get lulls to sleep every couple of years, and then we'll come back around when something else happens, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying?
A little stronger, a little more numbers. Yeah, I want to know what do you got for the future, man? Like, so are you just focused on making these same kind of watches, like, or are you planning to spend on different type of bands? I know. Are you interested in going to vending machines?
Oh.
Would you be interested in doing vending machines?
Oh, I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
First, I'm gonna give you a future. Then we talk about the vending machine thing, right? So, what's the future for the brand? What you got planned?
Yeah, good question, man. We have changed the strategy of the company going forward. We've decided that we want to be the Nike of watches.
Facts.
What does that mean?
Okay.
We want to make dope products year round.
Oh no, hold that thought. Hold that thought.
So
Okay, you back. It froze for a little bit. You good?
yeah, so we want to make exclusive products and do exclusive collaborations throughout the year to give people that collector's item, to give people something that not everybody's going to have. And so, you know, the first, I guess, implementation of that was earlier this year. We did the our Red Tails watch in collaboration with the Tuskegee Airmen.
That was
sold
fire.
out in 24 hours.
Wow.
And we realized, like, okay, going forward, these are the types of products that we want to release. We'll always have our, but we, you know, we're waiting for that re-release, you know, like the Jordans, or the re-release of the sneakers that you grew up on. We want to have that cultural cachet and that excitement around the brand. So that's our focus going forward.
I think that's a dope goal.
Okay, that is. I like the. I'm waiting for that black metal band to come back. That's the one I'm waiting for to come back. I'm pretty sure that's a big seller.
Yeah, for sure. Black and gold, also top three sellers for sure.
Yeah. So vending machines, right? So, have you ever seen? You know how they have like the iPads or the headphones inside the vending machines at like the mall and stuff like that? Would you be interested in having your watches airports? Yeah. Would you be interested in having your watch inside a vending machine at a festival, right? At a urban place where people are spending money and having a good time.
Such as
so. Yeah, go ahead. So basically, our last guest was Popcom, Dawn Dixon. She has facial recognition on her vending machines, right? And
her whole thing is
so
crazy. It's technologically crazy.
Right. So I'm just looking at it like, man, would people buy a luxury watch at a festival, right? At a big festival, and because it's right here, it's readily available, it's cool, it's from wherever we're gonna be at. Right, so I was just like, is that something you would entertain, or would you think your watch would do well?
I tried. I for sure tried. I don't know if it'll do well or not. I mean, I'm all about testing stuff though, so I feel like it solves a problem for us because we get invited to do a lot of vending, like in person, and we just can't do it. Like we don't have the scale for it, and then also it's a lot of resources that go into it for a product that is a higher price point. People used typically spending like $20-40 at a festival. You know what I'm saying? You got something $200. It don't typically vend well, but that's something I would try because it's low risk, right? You know what I'm saying? Put it in there, see if it sell, whatever. If it don't, I didn't lose nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I think So
it's on the upside.
So I think something like that would probably make better sense. So you know how like depending on different airports you travel to or whatnot. Most airports, like major, international, they'll have designer stores in an airport. Yeah. They'll have these vending machines items. So I think that would make sense for like a major international airport. People going through, they buying designer shit in there all the time anyway. They're at the Gucci store or whatever. But I think what King was talking about with the festival, so we got something in the water coming up in Virginia Beach next April. I think we were speaking with Dawn, trying to link people up with her machine, her Popcom vending machine, bring that to something in the water, and then find vendors, find suppliers, find entrepreneurs to put products in there. So that could be something.
Your product is dimensionally right. Your product is perfect for vending machines, right? You can have a few in there. It's easy to maneuver, right? Keep track of, So and that. And so other people were just saying water, and like. I know water, but I don't put water in the vending machine, bro. Like,
yeah, it's just something to think about.
That's not what I'm trying to do here. For sure.
I might get me a cooler and wait out stop sign somewhere.
You might as well, man. You can get a good $50 off a case of water for sure.
Easy.
Facts. So at the moment, is Talley and Twine? Is it just exclusive to the website? Do you have any brick and mortar spots? Are you retailing out through any major outlets? Or is that something down the line?
We have before. It's not a big part of our strategy, and honestly, we had a bad experience with it. So right now, we just sell directly on our website. But earlier this year, we had purchase orders with both Macy's and Nordstrom.
Okay.
And they order watches from us. But honestly, man, like the headache that we went through, just to wholesale the watches to them, it really wasn't.
Is it something you can talk
It
about,
wasn't
or
worth it
is
to
it
us.
hush hush?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind talking about it. It wasn't a good experience.
Oh, okay.
They got a lot of red tape, and it's emails flying back and forth. It's a lot of red tape and like software that you have to use, a way that you have to organize the products, which is fine. But it's just like as soon as we did 10 things, they hit us with 15 more steps. Like we were told we get into the end of the process, and then they hit you with 10, 15 more steps. And for a small company, man, it's like, man, we devoting a lot of resources and people time to this order, which really ain't that big. You know, we really could just sell this much in a couple weeks on our website. So
that's what I was gonna ask. Was like, that's what I'm saying. Is their customer base even like worth tapping into, right? Because they have such a large variety of everything, right? Going directly to the customer is, will be more beneficial. Oh, so what was the point of going into a store like that?
That's something that we learned too. So they called us with the order, right?
Oh,
so
wow.
We weren't looking to go into retail.
Okay, that's different. It's a little different.
And we ain't in the business of turning down money, so we're like, okay,
that's fast.
Let's go ahead and do it. But again, it was laborious. And then I also learned this too, and this was something that I did not expect. They don't help you with marketing. So like they wanted us to pay for them to tell people that they had the product. And I'm like, man, that's hustling backwards. Like,
and it does.
So if you deliver and they put it on their shelf, if Macy's and all of them, they getting a lot of traffic, isn't that, you walk by, I guess you got to have like a flyer or a banner or something, but like if you bring it in the store and they put it on their shelf,
it was not a store deal, so it was an online deal.
For the website.
Macy's.com. And Nordstrom.com. So they were gonna put it online, but I'm like, I'll go to their website. They literally got like 200 pages of watches. I'm like, how people gonna find us? How people even know we're here? You know what I'm saying? They like, well, we do some advertising, but you got to pay for it. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
So it's like they hit you up for business. They're like, hey, you got these watches. We want you to sell them on our site, but you got to pay us to sell them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. To promote it. Otherwise, you sell it to them at a wholesale price, which ain't really that beneficial for us, because, we can sell it for twice as much on our website and we sell it to you for it. So they're kind of just very one-sided, man. I felt like it was really kind of predatory, to tell you the truth. They wanted the cultural cachet of saying they have these black-owned brands, but they don't really want to cut the check, and they don't want to make it easy for you to work with them. All right, so
when you put it that way, it makes sense why they reached out.
No, they're trying to say it. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. So wouldn't it be more beneficial to keep it unique to just your location, right? Your the scarcity just for you, right? Because I don't know, I notice when my product, when I do sell, it's not as expensive as yours, but when they realize they can't find it anywhere else and they can get it only right here readily available, it makes the buyer that more, urgent, right? So
sometimes you got to go to where the people are, right? So over the next year, we're really going to explore diving in, because I met with somebody who is distributing the Billionaire Boys Club brand this week.
Nice.
And they purchased it back from an investment group, and they primarily do wholesale. And he was just really encouraging. He was like, man, you're missing out on a lot of opportunities by not doing the wholesale route, because there's a lot of small boutiques, there's a lot of mom and pop shops who can order 10 to 15, 20 watches at a time. You probably don't know their name, but if you do that and you get 50, 100 vendors on your regular, schedule.
That's right.
You can do very well. And so we're going to really be exploring that and hitting up a couple of trade shows this year. But I also found comfort in him saying that he had the same experience with the big retailers as well. It was also a headache for them. So I was like, okay. It's just not us.
That's right. Okay.
Seems to be
I'm going to be looking out for
consensus.
that, man. Trade shows, I watch Shark Tank a lot, and I hear people say they're going to trade shows, and they going to win in them James.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's easy because, it's easier than, it's less risky, let me say that, because you go to trade shows with just the samples as opposed to what we do is we buy inventory and then sell it. But at trade shows, you just go with your samples and then you take the orders, and you know, they pay for the order and then you get it made. So they reverse the process. So there's pluses and minuses with both ways of doing it. I still think direct is gonna be our bread and butter, though.
I think so too. I'm a newfound. I got this product and I was like, man, people are going back outside, but I didn't understand. I think I don't know why I understood that people were going back outside. Like they were like, there was nothing stopping people from going back outside. They were going to spend the money, and going back in the house is not an option.
People tired. People got tired of that
done
shit.
For. That's
human nature. That's human nature.
I'm like that for a couple months, 15 months, man. They say, oh no, not no more. And people in every event, like almost every event, not sold out, but it's packed, right? And it's wine festivals, fairs, you know, everything is back to full capacity almost. So people outside spending their money. So
something in the water, April. We gonna be there.
Hey,
it's gonna be dope. I got my tickets. That's what's up.
So yeah,
about to be so many Airbnbs in the hood.
Oh my God, y'all gotta stay safe.
Yeah, I live like 30 minutes from the beach, so I mean, shit, I can come home. I'm gonna drive over there, come back. I'm straight. I'm good. That's what's up,
Mr. Randy. Man, we appreciate you coming through, talking about Talley and Twine, man. We gotta get us a watch for sure, Frank. You got any words of wisdom to lead the people with, and how can they find you?
Appreciate y'all for having me, for sure.
Thank you.
Words of wisdom. I think you said it earlier, man. Consistency is the most important thing you can do, bro. Like, you can surpass so many people if you just stay consistent. People give up too soon,
right?
And they don't adapt to their environment and keep going. But you can find me online at CEO Randy on Instagram, and our website is talleyandtwine.com. That's TALLEYANDTWINE.com. That's where all of our products are, and we're launching some new stuff this month as well. So stay tuned.
Facts. You got any Black Friday sales going on? Cause I'm gonna be on it.
If everything ain't sold out by Black Friday, we will have.
Facts.
Gosh, I like the way he talks, man.
Right.
Look, you late.
All right, that's what's up. Cool, man. Well, thank you so much. This is dope. Season 2, we back. We're gonna put out an episode every week with a dope entrepreneur. We got Mr. Randy Williams. Thank you for blessing us. We shall be in touch. If we got any questions about the Podcom or any kind of deals or leads, and we'll definitely hit you up and talk about that if it interests you or not.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. You have a good rest of your day, sir. Thank you.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.